What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know you do not have to let me know down in the comments. I've been away for a while between, working 6-day weeks, raising kids, and having a family and the holidays. Yeah, we all know it's pretty crazy, but I want to jump right into the video, you guys. So if you are new to the channel and would like to help support the channel, consider subscribing. If you do like the video, a thumbs up is always appreciated. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So you guys, I thought about this, and you know what? I decided I want to make a video rehashing, some of the older news that has happened in the Witcher universe. A lot of people I've actually spoken to, I just talked about, they haven't even heard about. A lot of people didn't even know they pushed back the enhanced edition. They came up and said, hey, wasn't that supposed to release this month or sometime this year? What, is that coming at the end of the year? And I was like, no, dude, they pushed that. So if you have not heard, CDPR has announced that they are pushing The Witcher 3 Enhanced Edition to the Q2 of next year. Now, a lot of us most likely have already heard this, but I want to go over it, just to go over all the other news. And we definitely have newer news, like talking about The Witcher 4, and I do have like what dropped today, some unfortunate news, so bear with me. But if you have not heard, like I said, The Witcher 3 Enhanced Edition has been pushed to Q2 of next year, which could roughly land around April of next year. Even Cyberpunk 2077 update has been pushed to the first quarter of next year. They talked to their team leads and everything, and the people that are working and developing this, which I think that's good that they need more time. They're learning from their mistakes when it came to Cyberpunk 2077, for instance. So I'm glad that they're giving their developer or their teams more time to work on anything with the Witcher Enhanced Edition. That being said, I do want to get this out of the way because it is some sad news, and I wanted to share this with you guys if you have not heard it, which you probably haven't because it just happened pretty much yesterday and it's coming out today. And that is the fact that the voice actor for Vesemir has unfortunately passed away, which is extremely sad. And I just ended up hearing about this today myself just a couple hours ago, and I wanted to share this with all of you on YouTube so you know what is happening. His name is Milogost Rzeski. Now, I mean, don't, hold me accountable to his name. I'm sorry if I butchered it, but he played Vesemir's voice in The Witcher 3, and it's a very iconic voice. I think he did an amazing job, right? He was 60 years old, and he ended up passing away, unfortunately, from a type of bone marrow cancer. And honestly, I really hope he wasn't in pain because cancer sucks, right? It definitely does, something we can all agree on. And I hope it was some type of cancer where he didn't have much pain or they had something to make him feel comfortable. But my condolences go out to his family and anyone that was close to him. But he voice acted a lot of things: Star Wars, the original trilogy, Monsters vs. Aliens, Homer in The Simpsons. That was crazy. I didn't even know that. Despicable Me. He's voice acted in a lot of different things. And in Poland, he was on a radio station for more than 20 years and did a theater back in Poland. He was very well known, and he became very popular with his voice of Vesemir in The Witcher 3 because in Poland, The Witcher is their, it's something they really look to because, with the stories that are being told, it's something that the Polish really take to, and which is nice. It's something of their country that we all get to share, and it's became a world phenomenon. But like I said, I wanted to share that news with you guys, and it's very sad. It's something during this time that we're excited for the new Netflix season 2 to be dropping, and to get this only days before. But speaking of the Netflix series, season 2, that is going to be dropping December 17th, which is this Friday, only 2 days from now. I'm super excited about it. I don't know about you guys, but it's something that's been long waited. They have announced that there is a season 3 that is coming, so I'm really hyped about that. But yes, season 2 is here, and there's going to be more monster fights. Geralt's a monster hunter. He takes on contracts. I know they lean towards more of the books, but it has to be an adaptation, right? I mean, you can't strictly keep word for word in the book. There's a lot of detail, and I'm not going to lie, I've read a good majority of the books. I have not finished every single book yet, but the first couple, 4 books that I've read, there's 8-9 books, and I've read the first 4 on my 5th book, and the first couple books can really drag. So it's nice if they add some of their adaptation to add some action and some scenes on there, because it could become a snooze fest, and we are bringing, new people that have never played a Witcher game. Some people just seen the Witcher Netflix series and they're like, you know what, I want to try the games. And it's almost crazy to think, like, how has no one ever played the Witcher games? And a lot of people end up liking it, and that's why it's good to have, a good adaptation of the series. And also, part of the news that I want to share with you guys is Henry Cavill has not played the Blood and Wine DLC, and I was like, what? Our Lord and Savior has not played Blood and Wine? Now, he has played The Witcher, which, he is an enthusiast of the Witcher series. He reached out to Netflix to play it, right? So he said he's saving it as like a Christmas present, but there was also a conversation where he said he would like to see an adaptation of the Witcher Netflix series and like him go to Toussaint. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be amazing, because these books have to follow in line with, maybe the video games. It'd be nice because the video games kind of take after, so to speak, to leave more room for these games to, grow, or if they were to change everything, which brings on to my next point, a Witcher 4, right? Now, Adam Kaczynski, who is the president of CDPR, has come out and said, which in a past video, a couple months ago, has said, they are in development, or they want to create a new Witcher game. It may not be called The Witcher 4. We don't know yet. There has been talks of, like maybe Ciri, you're playing as Ciri, which honestly, I thought about it and I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to play as Ciri, not because I wouldn't think it would be amazing, but I think Ciri's too powerful unless we found a way to take away her powers completely, but she's not a Witcher. I mean, she's trained to kind of become a Witcher, but she hasn't done the Trial of the Grasses, meaning like the mutation and have all that stuff. So there's a lot of things they could play with, but I just feel like if Ciri had her powers, I mean, you're just OP. We played The Witcher 3, right? You know how you play those instances where you're playing as Ciri? It's dope. It really is. But yeah, you're OP as hell. But that being said, they did say that full-on, full-board production of a new Witcher game is going to be hitting in 2022, and that kind of goes for both IPs. They're talking about Cyberpunk 2077 as well. I think more towards their multiplayer aspect. That being said, with The Witcher 4, it's kind of like, when could we honestly see anything on a new Witcher game, which from their track record could possibly be maybe like sometime in 2025. Maybe start seeing some more information, like some gameplay, some screenshots, something like that, which I really do hope, because I don't want it to go too long. Like, I'm really excited for a new Witcher game. That's why everyone's so hyped about the Enhanced Edition. So that's why I wanted to share this with you guys. A new Witcher game is not around the corner. We're still at the end of 2021. We're just coming into 2022. So hopefully whatever they're adding for DLC or new content to The Witcher 3 is something that will help keep us push through, or maybe they'll keep adding something more, meaning they did acquire a new indie studio called Molasses Flood. That's another news update that happened about a month and a half ago. And the cool thing about that is the fact that they are working on a new game within existing universes from CDPR, meaning Cyberpunk 2077 or the Witcher series. So we don't know which one it is yet, but they are not CDPR. They get to remain their own independent studio, but they're kind of like, absorbed a little bit, meaning like they work together and CDPR recognizes them in their own like culture, they said, and their own views. And, they want to work on like their heartfelt, game systems and mechanics and that. But Molasses Flood is known for creating these games like Drake Hollow. I'm sure you guys have heard of that one. Or Flame in the Flood, which is actually a really great game. But the take on it is they're both kind of, a survival type game. They have a lot of survival elements and stuff, which then again, I thought like, well, where could they be going with this if that's what they focus on? But then when I saw the people and the devs that created this studio, they are actually from like BioShock. That was exciting because, BioShock is a great franchise, and Halo 2, also Rock Band, that could be any implement, when it comes to Rock Band. But, you got these different developers working together, and they are an indie studio, so they want to have something to prove. They want to show everyone that they can do something that, hey, look, we're not just a small team. We want to grow. We want to make something memorable. So hopefully this new game within this IP, could it be, I don't think it's going to be an MMO. I don't think it's anything like that, but it could be a spin-off. I don't think it's Gwent or anything. But like if we look at Thronebreaker, To me, I thought Thronebreaker was a great game. I honestly would give it, it could kind of drag at times a little bit in that, but honestly, like the story and RPG style that it had with its graphics and everything, or I should just say its animation and all that, even though it was Gwent style, I would give it a 9 to 10 out of 10, honestly. Like, it was just that good. And plus, it's Witcher. I mean, I could just sit back and relax and enjoy it. There was no multiplayer that I had to worry about. And you can even get it on your phone now. You can play Thronebreaker on your phone. You can even try the game for free before you decide if you want to purchase it, which is amazing. But, yeah, them acquiring a new indie studio and working within an IP, I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us, and I'm going to be keeping an eye out on that. If you have not heard about it, well, there you go right there. But another thing that has popped up, like I said about multiplayer, was the controversial of, multiplayer within the Witcher series. I mean, I know they want to add it in Cyberpunk 2077, but what do you think, you guys? I don't know if I would want multiplayer in the Witcher series, because it's been such a narrative, story-driven, like single-player game, that multiplayer can always tarnish that. Because when you have an MMO, you have to have grind, right? You have to have something to keep the player going. Like, look at World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft a lot. Between World of Warcraft, even New World that came out, I mean, the grind can be unreal on that. To hit level 60, like, I would say 90 to 95% of people go over 100 hours before they even hit level 60. And I do enjoy New World, by the way. Like, I mean, I know it has its flaws in that, but I've been really grinding through, and I actually do want to make some videos on that. But, when they add multiplayer, if that's what they want to do, and they say they want to implement live services into the Witcher series and Cyberpunk 2077, which we knew, I don't know how that could play out for them, as long as they don't heavily monetize and use a lot of microtransactions. I get they need to find new ways of making money and, bring revenue in, but it's always, a scary thing when you add multiplayer into something that's so lore-rich and single-player driven that you don't want to, like, screw it up, especially for newcomers, because people that have just started or want to jump into a game, everyone tends to buy the latest and greatest. So if you have the newest game, which is an MMO, and they've never played any of the other Witchers or anything like that, and they want to jump in and they're like, well, this doesn't seem like anything that everyone talks about. Well, that's because you got to play Witcher 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are confusions out there between people, and you'd be surprised how many people, get confused by it. They just buy the latest game. Like, a lot of people never played a Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 1 and 2 and all the older games, you know what I'm saying, all them. So it's one of those things where they picked up Fallout 76, and that was the first game they played. Some people said, well, I love it. Some people said, like, well, this game sucks. I think Fallout's horrible. Then they've actually went back and played, like, Fallout 3 or New Vegas, or, I mean, even Fallout 4 I wasn't a fan of. But you see what I'm saying? Like, they're like, wow, these games are actually a lot better than Fallout 76 because of its story-driven narrative, and, like, you have this open, free world. You don't have to worry about nothing else, even though Fallout 76 has come a long way from when it originally launched. But you see what I'm getting at. You don't want to tarnish the name of something that's already great. They have, a huge thing to uphold. So with that being said, I do want to share with you guys the fact that a lot of big gaming studios, like something like EA, I'm not saying EA is one of them, but like EA or like Activision or something like that, are trying to acquire CDPR. But President Adams, God, I can't even say his name, Zakinski, he ended up coming out and saying, no, we are not for sale. You are not going to buy us. We are our own independent studio, and which is great. And honestly, I don't feel like any bigger gaming company has to buy CDPR. I mean, they have a lot of money. Even after Cyberpunk 2077, I mean, they hit second in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Crazy with how much money they were making and how well they were doing. And they were in second place, and they were doing so good with their stocks and revenue. And they make good quality games. And I know they made a mistake with Cyberpunk 2077. They owned up to it. But, they definitely have some making up to do for that. It was kind of deceitful with some of the things that did. I'm not just talking about bugs and anything. The game itself was nowhere near on par with the Witcher series. Not even close. It was not even close to The Witcher 3. I mean, it was, to me, a letdown, if anything. It wasn't anything I expected from them, I should say. So, not saying that they can't do better or maybe try and fix things, and hopefully they're just hard at work. But with that being said, you guys, I mean, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to rehash all the old news and some of the new news, like the unfortunate, passing of Milo Goss. Hope that's his name. I don't want to like butcher it, but it is very unfortunate that he happened to leave us. But between that and with The Witcher 4, when we can expect that and see more news, the enhanced edition being pushed back. Like I said, you guys, a lot of this stuff has been out. A lot of this stuff is newer things like CDPR, like bigger companies trying to acquire them, and what we can see in the future with they're working on multiplayer type games. When can we see that? Are they working on something that we're going to see sometime next year? Is that what we're going to be waiting for with Cyberpunk 2077? Is that an update? Is that just going to be a whole separate game? Or is that going to be like you go into Cyberpunk 2077 and boot up and there's the multiplayer aspect? So a lot of this stuff, is to be seen in the future. But I wanted to make something for the end of the year to update all you guys and to let you know what was going on. This video has been incredibly long enough, and I just wanted to get all this information out there for you guys so you knew what was going on within the past couple months. A lot of this stuff has literally sprang up within just a short amount of time, and a lot of people I have talked to had no idea with a lot of these things because, like I said, it's been hit or miss, and it's been here and there, and there's even been news on the Cyberpunk 2077 side, but I don't really want to go over that. I want to stick more to the Witcher side and what is going on with them. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think, if you have actually heard anything different or any more updated news. I've searched, I've reached out, I haven't heard anything more, but I am excited to see what that indie studio has in development for us, and hopefully we can hear something within the next upcoming year, right? So let me know down in the comments. You can always follow me on Twitter at Hambone Gaming. I'll be sure to be trying to keep more updated posts on Twitter and get back to making regular content more frequently. Doing my best, you guys, especially with kids. When they get a little bit older and doing stuff, I'll be cranking the stuff out a lot better because I won't be as needed. They can take care of themselves a little bit more, right? So thank you guys for being so supportive and appreciating everything that I do on this channel. I really appreciate it. But that is all I have for you guys, so I will see you all in the next one. Later.